Hello ladies and gentlemen, so this is going to be a starter guide right here. So this is basically going to be a guide to show you everything about Conquest, where to start, what to do, little helpful tips and tricks and all stuff like that. It's basically going to be a guide to answer any questions you may have about starting the server, etc. So to get started, you're going to be greeted with a lovely screen right here where you can design your character. So you can design him in any way you want. I normally go with something like this. So you can start your character kind of like this, change the shirt, change the arms, change the hands, the legs, the feet, etc. So we're just going to go with something basic like this. Obviously we can then click accept, and then you're going to move on to a tutorial right here. Tutorial is pretty quick. Everything in this tutorial I will go over in this guide anyway, and I will explain everything that happens within this. So you have things like primal ranks, we have a perk system, we have a skilling center right there, information booth, and then you will get onto this game mode screen right here. So Conquest has got 4 different game modes. So we have a normal game mode, we have an Iron Man game mode, we have a hardcore Iron Man game mode, and we have a group Iron Man game mode. So once you have selected your game mode that you want to play, you'll click Start Adventure, and then you can move on and do whatever you would like to do. Now, in Conquest, we have a thing called Seasons. In Seasons, you will have a bunch of tracks to complete, and for completing those tracks, you will be rewarded. So for completing the first rank, you'll get yourself a Primal Cracker, a Mythic Box, an Unidentified Rare Fossil, a Golden Crate, and 100 of each energy. Not only that, once you've completed your first set of tracks, you will also be given combat abilities. So for the first combat ability here, we have Primal Surge. For the second one, we have Savage Volley. For the third one, we have Ruin Storm. And then we have got Dominion Tempest. There is no rank for getting Conqueror, but with Conqueror you will unlock the Conqueror's Guild. You don't get an ability, but you do get a access to the Conqueror Guild. Now, not only that, with that you also unlock prestige caps, which will help you inside of the Primal Dominion minigame. For completing the first one, you get a prestige cap of 1. For Warlord, you get a prestige cap of 2. Beast Lord, a prestige cap of 3. And for Primal, a prestige cap of 4. Once you hit Conqueror, you will have an unlimited prestige cap. That is the track portion. Leveling up your Primal Altar will unlock you a bunch of Primal Pacts. The Primal Pacts help you inside the Dominion, because this season that we're currently on is all based around the Dominion itself. Future seasons may be based around something else or something similar. We're unsure, and that is unknown at the moment. Getting started on this game. Now, the one thing to get started is you want to get your gear together, and then you want to head on over to minigames. We're going to head on to Doomcore right here. Once we get into Doomcore, we're going to press start and we're going to enter Doomcore. Now, Doomcore is just a wave-based minigame, but we are doing this to get our first sigil. And then while we're also getting our first sigil, we can also level up our combat stats as well. Obviously, we did just die there. That's not a problem. For that, we are going to head on over to the bank all of that, and we're going to pull ourselves out some monkfish, and then we're going to head back to Doomcore, and then we're going to re-enter back into Doomcore. Now, I'd recommend just putting your stats on all. So we're going to have that just sitting on all. We're going to put on auto retaliate so we can just get ourselves some XP whilst we go. Once we get our defense level up to a certain level, these will stop dealing damage to us. And we are basically looking for a collector sigil right here. So I will just bring you guys back once we have gotten our collector sigil, and I will show you guys what to do next. Okay guys, so as you can see, we've just gotten our first sigil, which is the collector's sigil. So when it's in our inventory, it will collect all of our monster drops and add them to our inventory. So anything that we get drop wise, it will add it to our inventories. So we can now teleport out of the Doom Core minigame. It only takes about anywhere between 30 seconds and 2.5 minutes to get this. It's really not that hard. And then obviously you can also get a Doom Cape, a Fury and a Doom Ring along the way, just to give you a bit of extra stat boost. Now, once you've gotten this collector sigil, I would recommend voting. Voting is going to be very, very helpful in order to get our first set of potions. So, I'm going to vote really quickly, and then I will bring you guys back once we have voted, and I will tell you guys what to do next. Okay guys, so once you have voted, you will be given a voting package. Once you open up your voting package, you'll get 2 vote books, 2 gamble box votes, and 2 activity keys and 5 mystery boxes. You can obviously open up these 5 mystery boxes or you can sell them. These vote books, you want to redeem all on the vote books. That will get us 10 vote points and 10 million coins. Then we can head on over to the vote store right here, and then we want to pick ourselves up a Super Combat Infinite and a Prayer Potion Infinite as well, along with a scroll of the first combat style that you are most likely to train. I'd recommend picking up the Piety Scroll first, and then we just want to claim that and learn Piety. Now we also have our potions here, so once we drink our Super Combat Infinite at our current stats, it's going to give us from 74 to 90. And obviously our Prayer Potion Infinite, which will also help us along the way. Now, once you've done that, I will show you guys the next thing to do. Okay boys, so next what we're going to do is we're going to get our starter book out of the bank, as you can see right here, and we want to start going through this starter task list. So first one is claim a vote, which we've already done. Complete a Slayer task, so you want to come over to our friend over here, Duriel, and you can get yourself a Slayer task here at level 1. Kill 19 lizardmen, so you can then do that. After that, you want to purchase a Slayer weapon with the Slayer points you ended up getting, which is up here. You'll get more than 50 Slayer points for just that one task. Then you can purchase yourself one of these Slayer weapons. I'd recommend going with whichever weapon, whichever scroll you purchased earlier, and you'll start training that first. Next one is the 5 Ways to Doom Core, which we have already completed in order to get our collector's sigil. Open the Brimstone chest. On your Slayer task, you should get yourself some Slayer keys to open the Brimstone chest. The forging of a weapon. You can come down here to the item forging menu. You can go to whichever style you are starting with. I would only recommend picking one style to begin with. So whether that be melee, magic or range. So under melee, you'll have your Slayer weapon, and then you want to go to do your Slayer task, and you should be able to get these different coloured Lizardman shards. And then you will make your first weapon, which will be the Tempera Scimitar, the Tempera Trident or the Tempera Bow. Next on the list is equip a Fire Cape. So to equip a Fire Cape, we're going to go to minigames, we're going to go to Fire Invasion, where we can get ourselves a Fire Cape. So to get yourself a Fire Cape, you're going to come into here. But to do this, you're going to want to also get yourself some prayer. So when you was killing the monsters for your Slayer task, I would also recommend picking up the bones to do that as well. So what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be killing your Slayer task. As you do, your collector sigil will put everything into your inventory for you, and then you'll get yourself some bones. So the different coloured ones match up to the different coloured Lizardman shards. So if you need yellow ones, kill the yellow ones. If you need the blue ones, kill the blue ones. If you need the orange ones, you kill the orange ones. From this, you'll have your big bones in your inventory. So you want to take your big bones, and then you want to go over to here, this altar right here, which you are going to use your big bones on the altar, and you will get yourself some prayer levels. Prayer is very, very quick to level up, so you will already be able to, from your Slayer task, get yourself the amount of prayer that you need. Obviously, we also have our super combat and our infinite prayer potion. So then you can head on over to the fire invasion minigame, where you can come in here with your 100k that you got from voting, and you can kill Fire Jad. Fire Jad's not too difficult to take down. As you level up your stats as well, you'll be able to hit higher, but just make sure you're praying correctly against Jad and you should be fine. He does not do a melee attack if you are meleeing Jad, so you haven't got to worry about that. But you'll be able to take Fire Jad down here, and then you'll be able to get yourself a fire cape to be able to equip that. I'll bring you guys back once we have taken down our Fire Jad, and we can then equip our fire cape to complete that task. Now, we've just done our Fire Jad kill, so then we can equip our fire cape, and then that is one of our starter tasks done right there. The next thing we want to do is collect 250 skilling tokens. Now, to collect the 250 skilling tokens, what we want to do is we want to head into the bank over here and just bank some of this stuff. You may already have an empty inventory. I unfortunately do not. So I'm just going to bank some stuff here real quick. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to do : AFK. And that is going to bring us to the AFK zone here, where we can collect ourselves some skilling tokens. So it doesn't really matter which one you pick. I'm just going to pick the pond right over here. And we can AFK and get ourselves some levels and some skilling tokens. So these right here are fishing tokens. It is giving us 10 per catch. And we need to do this 25 times in order to get ourselves 250 skilling tokens. I will bring you guys back once I've collected 250 skilling tokens, and that is another task done. Okay, we just got ourselves our 250 skilling tokens. Did not take very, very long. So with these skilling tokens, we can either trade the traveling skiller right here, where we can collect a bunch of stuff to get a bunch of different rewards right here. I wouldn't really recommend doing this. It's quite a lot for what you get. However, what you can also do is grind them up into skilling dust. Skilling dust, you can either sell it on the TP, or it's also used for several forges. I'd recommend holding on to that for now. However, the next task on our book is to complete a pest control run. So to complete the pest control run, we can go to the minigame teleports right here, and we can click on pest control. So in pest control, it works very similar to any normal pest control game. You cross the gangplank, you go in, and then it will be a countdown up here. You're going to have to do this in order to pretty much get your first sigil anyway, in order to activate it. So we're going to go into a game here real quick. It's very, very simple. All you have to do is quite literally just kill the portals. So we're just going to start off with this portal right here. They have 300 HP as a solo, or you can obviously ask in the help CC if you can get, see if you can get any help. So I'm just going to do a quick solo run here real quick. It's really not that hard of a mini game to complete. All you have to do is destroy all 4 portals, and that is then completed. So in order to do that, we're just going to attack each portal, get each portal down, and then we're going to move on and to the next task. So I'll bring you guys back once we have completed this track. Okay boys, there we go. So we just completed our pest control run right here. So next one we have is the 5 waves of castle defense. So what we're going to do is we're going to run over into the bank over here real quick. Right here. And then we're going to bank that, and we're going to bank everything. And then we're going to teleport ourselves to castle defense. Castle defense is a custom mini game, so we can click defend right here. So I'm just going to make the party there invite only, and then we just click defend. So the first wave, you don't really have to do anything. All you're going to do is just relax right here, and the mobs will spawn, and then these guys will kill them. So we have a healer that we can heal ourselves in between waves, and then we have a castle store over here where we can buy ourselves some bandages, prayer potions, extreme combat, some chins, barricades, cannon repair kits, and a bunch of weapons and armor. Plus we can also get ourselves some castle archers and some castle sorcerers that will help us and aid us during the fight. You don't really have to do too much here. All I would recommend doing is basically just AFKing for the first 2 waves, and then start buying some stuff to help you kill the mobs. Wave 5 is not too hard to get done. All it simply is just kill the mobs and get yourselves and gear yourselves up. You could either go ahead and try and last as long as you possibly can, or you can just you can try and last as long as possibly you can, or you can just complete the wave 5 that you need to complete. Okay guys, so this is the end of part 1. To carry on with the rest of the guide, you can now move on to part 2 from this point. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1, and I will see you guys in part 2.